Hello, and welcome back to the series of YouTubes about my personal journey in the Dr. Joe-Dispenza meditations. I started this when I did my first week long in February 2022 in Cancun, did it again in Niagara Falls, and now doing it for Marco Island 2023 September, where I did the week long and the AFU. So I just share my meditations, not the teaching, my experiences, all the fun, crazy things that come up. A lot is really fun, a lot is really boring, but those who are following, you know what you're getting into. So I'll go straight into it. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you may want to go and watch day 1, because this is already day 5 of the week long in Marco Island, September 2023. So this was 22nd of September 2023, even though now we're in March 2024 and I'm out in Thailand, but it took me a while to get to this. We started with walking meditation number 10, heart-brain coherence. I understand why we did kaleidoscope last night before going to sleep. The lights kept switching on before going to sleep, and as soon as I woke up, the lights were back on. So guess what happened as soon as I started walking meditation number 10 with my eyes closed? Bang, lights back on. We started with tuning into the heart, where I felt tremendous amount of love. A kaleidoscope's opening, expanding, and hitting me back in the heart each time. Then up into the brain, the lights kept switching on in the pineal gland. We joined the left with the right side of the brain. And ooh, the love that came out once the two were joined. Seeing the images of the kaleidoscope in the lights showed so much love. We then walked tuning 4 and 6, so your heart and your pineal gland, over and over again with the eyes open. This is where I find it challenging. We stopped again with the eyes closed and did it all over again, I think, as I can't always remember everything. Walked again, walked in so much love, and the final time that we stopped was the strongest, feeling the two merging into one light. We called in our past self, and I saw Nini, which is me as an 8 or 9-year-old, or even 6-year-old, because Nini was my childhood nickname, in bed staring at the sun, and that's when my reoccurring childhood dream kicked in. But instead of being the sun extending a ray of light to Nini, it was the light in me that extended the light to Nini, to join into the light together. It brought me into tears, seeing my current self with my childhood self joining together into the light. I then started to feel my future self entering my body, falling so in love with my body and my future. We were told to embody of the future self, which is what I felt the light of the sun pour into me. Sorry, I write these when it's late at night. I can't always read my writing. Into this light pouring into me, into my heart, moving into my arms, to my hands, and feeling a whole load of energy right there. My hands turned out to all the people around me. It was energy pouring out of my hands, and it felt like I was sending, or what I interpreted as, healing, loving energy to everyone around me. We then lied down, started gentle and relaxed. Suddenly, the lights of geometric circles started exploding from the brain into the heart at the same time. The lights kept turning on, giving brain heart orgasms over and over again. Dr. Joe asked us to come back, so I tried to relax, but it kind of kept going, so I didn't stop it. It kept going on and on. I was being washed in this beautiful light. I just absolutely loved it. I'll let them go by. These were a bunch of notes. All right, then second meditation of day 5. Kaleidoscope and sync to potential. Another amazing meditation, syncing our energy to a potential. It started with the eyes closed, tuning into the heart and the pineal gland, already seeing kaleidoscopes again. We opened our eyes to watch the kaleidoscope 3 times. So open them, close them, open them, close them, open them, close them. And when we closed our eyes the first time, it was to tune into the first possibility, and I chose financial abundance, because I'm trying not to focus too much on my health. Then the second time, into the feeling, which is freedom to travel and heal others. When I think of healing others, It's when I light up the most. My whole body feels in the light. It's gone. So when I think of healing others is when I light up the most. My whole body feels in the light, in the divine, in the right place. The third time we closed our eyes to send the signal out, intentional thought, and call the emotion in, was the least one I felt. Unless I called in the feeling, then the lights would come back on. The best part was when we lay down. We did the breath similar to the Wim Hof, where it's nice, strong, and audible. And every time I inhaled, it went straight to the pineal gland, exploding sun and stars in the brain. I like to hold the breath a little longer on the last one, as that brings me straight up into a state of high, with lights exploding in my brain. Despite that Dr. Joe didn't say to sync 1, 4, and 6, it just started happening. Kaleidoscopes in brain and heart, lights dancing. I could feel the energy of the divine and I was loving it. And the void, I was loving the divine and the void so much. And then I realized I am source. So I love each inch of this body. I realized I loved everything of me. My head bobbed into circles for a while, and I kept holding tight to my mat, struggling to relax. When eventually I managed to relax, that's when the magic truly happened. I could feel the energy of divine beings all around me. Everyone was around me. I then started feeling Dr. Joe's heart and mind coming into union. Had a moment where I kept feeling this exchange of love with Dr. Joe and then with all the staff and with everyone in the room. But then I realized I was on the ceiling with the divine beings and started watching everyone from above, enjoying themselves below. I could see them twirling in joy. I realized that the husband of my friend that I just made next to me had made a joke before we started the meditation, and he said that if I saw any of these beings, to bring them to him. So I did. I told Dr. Joe and the beings where to go. I started with him, moved to my friend, his wife next to me, then to my body, or the physical body that was down there, to my other friends that were on the right side of me, and then the lady next to me. But then is when I realized I couldn't get to everyone that way. So if I was doing one by one, I wouldn't have the time. So I instructed them all into a flock. This is when the flocks came in handy. And dove this divine loving energy from the stage to the back of the stage. Then from the left to the right, sweeping in all directions. It was this light energy just being swept back and forth, side to side. It felt so good diving into this energy into everyone. I was lying down and relaxing. I started feeling the pressure of a hand pressing down at the center of my chest and then pushing upwards. So it was like down and up. I remember this because it happened a few times. Right onto the heart. It was beautiful. Felt like there was a hand. It was beautiful. At the end of the meditation, I shared this with my friend's husband, and as we were laughing about it, a guy came to me to say he saw me in his meditation walking by and giving him a high five. That was super cool. He's like, I saw you in the meditation, you gave me a high five. I was like, well, I was seeing similar things, high-fiving everyone. Not really high-fiving, but you know what I mean. Then this other woman came running, pointed at me. She was one of the helpers. I don't like to say their names because I don't know if people like having their name shared. So one of the helpers came running, pointed at me with her finger and gave me a big hug, saying she felt my love in the meditation. I was so excited to get a confirmation in the 3D world that what I felt and what I saw was truly real. Me sharing my love with everybody. Third meditation of day 5 at 6 p.m. was actually a healing. Today was the first of 3 days of healing. Both my friend that I was sharing room with and I found very similar experiences, less emotional than usual. Outside the conference room, we did a 50-minute healer meditation, and that got me all fired up, knowing I am oneness. I am a healer, I am love, and I am ready to help change the energy field of the person I am there to heal. When we got in, I stayed in my zone, calling in the divine love, or the divine beings, or as I like to call them, Dr. Joe's army of love. They came and stood behind all 8 of us, but I could sense there were a few non-believers in our cage. We call them cages, so it's 8 people surrounding one person, the healer. I knew we had to go in harder to make up for the non-believer in our cage. Feeling everyone's hearts, putting them into coherence, we put our hands on our hearts, meditated, and then turned our hands to the Healy and started sending loads of love from heart to hands, aiming to the Healy. They said the whole healing took 45 minutes, but it felt like 15 minutes in total. When we finished, I met the person, this beautiful woman. We all hugged, and I made sure to remind her to stay open to receiving, as from experience I know how easy it is to feel unworthy. I've been there before. I felt it. She said that's exactly what she needed to hear in that moment, and I felt so honored to be a healer, and I just can't wait to do it again tomorrow. That's it for day 5. You'll have to wait for the next one for the other silly, crazy stuff. Ciao!